welcome to the Divine Feminines podcast and channel, and I'm your host, Steph Desar. We're going to be talking today about the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies and why it's so important that we all have this imbalance within all of us. Before I get started though, don't forget to like and subscribe this channel. It's the Divine Feminines on YouTube, and you can catch us on all major podcast platforms. We're on Instagram with some great content, and it's Divine Feminines with a Z. Check out the link in the description box. And yes, if you tune in and you subscribe, well, what are you going to get? Great soul empowerment on mind, body, soul content. We talk moon manifestation and working with moon cycles. We talk about the twin flame journey, but also empowering your feminine and your masculine and bringing it into balance and what that really means, because this new earth needs more balance, and it starts with us and our own inner balance. So let's get started on today's topic. So let's be real, this world is definitely operating in a lot more masculine energy, and it's very clear, and many have spoken about it already, that we're out of balance. This earth is out of balance. And if you think about what's going on in the world and what's been happening in several last 100 years, there's been war, there's been conflict, there's a lot of competition, there's been imbalances in different parts of life where we see more masculine prevalent than feminine. Now that's always going to cause a problem. That's always going to create challenges. There is not enough feminine involved, and this is where the healing starts. So let me just say why I called this channel the Divine Feminines. It's not because it's about women and only for women. I always say that my content, the guests, everything that I've been doing is about everyone, because we all possess masculine and feminine energy within us. Perhaps it's worth me saying why I named this channel Divine Feminines, because it's not really about women, it's about all of us. It's for both men and women, because we all possess masculine and feminine energy. And the reason why I wanted to bring about the Divine Feminine podcast channel movement, and get this community together. So shout out to all the Soul Tribe that are part of this, and to all those that are coming in. If you're new, you're all welcome here. It's all about rising up with this feminine energy to bring back balance. We have not had balance for I don't know how many hundreds of years. In ancient times, there was definitely much more balance, where women were connecting to their, to their roots, and the men were more nurtured through their own feminine. But we have lost that, and we need to go back home to our truth. And the truth is that we need the balance between the masculine and the feminine. If you look at the world today, there's a heck of a lot of war, there's conflict, there's competition, and most of things are being done and driven by the ego. But if we don't balance our ego and recognize our ego and pay respect and attention to our soul, then the two are not going to work in balance, and one will outweigh the other, which is where we're at right now. What's going on in the world today? There's a lot of fear. Everyone's in their ego. There's a lot of war and destruction. It's all very much over distorted masculine. So this is why I feel that this topic is so important. It's not just whether you're a twin flame or not. Twin flame or not, every single one of you that are listening, and myself, have the masculine and feminine energy within us. But we've come from ancestral lineage and, traumas and wounds from generations that have this imbalance, and it's playing out, and it's starting to play out even more right now. So let's talk about what is masculine energy, and then let's talk about what is feminine energy. Masculine energy is the giver. It's the doer. It's action. So when you think of yourself being that person that, sets up that meeting and invites everyone and then leads that meeting, you're in your masculine. Or if you're kind of hosting a party and you're planning everything and you're doing all the organization, you're in your masculine. It's really about logic. It's about decision making. It's about taking action. The divine masculine energy is also associated with the sun, or also we can call Mars the planet too. Mars is all about go get 'em, structure, regimen. It's all about this kind of groundedness and everything that's kind of more firm and fixed, and you can see it and you can feel it, and it's there. It's quite in your face, 3D. It's more of an external energy, right? So you can see it, like me making a cup of tea. You can see me doing that. You can't really see me dreaming. So that's where the feminine energy comes in. It's much more inward. It's much more inward looking. It's an energy that's internal. It's, you know, our intuition. It's our feelings. It's our sense. It's our dreams. And it's a passive energy that receives, and it allows the space for receiving. It's not just about receiving for the sake of receiving, but there is a space. There is an allowance of expansion for that, you know, for that reciprocity. And you know, this is so interesting because when we, you know, don't want to digress into the twin flame dynamic, but what happens there is this lack of reciprocity that occurs. There's the imbalance, and the twins are called on that journey to kind of, you know, wipe the slate clean and try to set the new paradigm, because we're in this very distorted paradigm where we have a distorted masculine and a distorted feminine. And actually, when those twin flames meet, they're very much in a distorted masculine and a distorted feminine type role, where they're wounded, there's codependencies, there's toxic behaviors and patterns, they're holding each other back, there's jealousy, they're getting triggered. But actually, it all stems from their wounds that they've been carrying from maybe generations or from childhood, that needs to be healed to bring their masculine and feminine energy into balance, and then to create that. Oh, there's a beautiful bird there and I've just got distracted. Hello, hey cutie pie. And he or she has got a beautiful yellow yellow breast. And yeah, I'm thinking solar plexus. I am. And I have the power. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I'm just in a beautiful, beautiful setting, and it's really beautiful here. I'm at the Retreat, Costa Rica, and this place is just magical. And I just want to shout out everyone that has, you know, held space for me here. The lovely people I've met, the staff, the chefs, the therapists. It's really beautiful. But back to the script. Well, not so much a script. This is coming from the heart. This is coming from what I feel I need to channel. And oh, there she just flew. She's gone somewhere. Look, I don't know where she's gone, but she's gone somewhere. Look at those beautiful flowers. Anyway, I digressed again, but I'm sure you're enjoying the scenery in the background. So yeah, regardless of twin flames, you know, that's why they come, you know, they've made that pact to come and clear that and to find their self-union. But outside of that, every single one of us has that mission to create that balance. And if you're on earth right now, this is one of the biggest, you know, jobs that you have, to do this for yourself, because as you heal, this universe heals. As you do the inner work, the external environment changes and it impacts those around you. You know, it has this just amplification impact around everything that you touch, and it's alchemy. It's beautiful. So each and every one of us has a role to play in this universe, and it's through our healing, it's through our own internal work, it's how we show up in the world and really claim our power too. You know, once we've done that work, we can stand in our authenticity, and I am embodying that right now by being here, sharing my own experiences and sharing this message, because it needs to be out here. There's many light workers, there's many star seeds and other twins and other beautiful souls that are sharing great messages, and in collaboration we're all doing it, and we're touching either small, you know, our immediate communities, our work, wider communities, the online world. So whoever comes across this message, I'm just glad that I was able to bestow some of my personal insight and something that I really feel is important for us right now here on earth. The earth cannot continue the way it is. When we talk about vibrations, you know, the higher the vibration you are, it's not going to be just coincidence. You're going to be in better vibration if you're in balance, right? Think about, you know, the karmic scales. You know, if we clear our karma and we bring balance to both masculine and feminine energy, and we heal and we do the work, and healing's always a journey, we will be able to raise our vibrations up and up and up. And you know, I've not been able to get to where I am at right now if I didn't do the work, if I didn't, you know, go within and say to myself, no, this can't continue anymore, like I can't be here. So we've spoken about what masculine energy is and what feminine energy is. Now, if you think about it, like going back to what I said, we are much more in the doing space. So our masculines, whoever, I'm not talking gender here, but whoever resonates with being more a masculine, you know, man, woman, Let's not get into the gender thing of it all, because then it's going to be very confusing for me to explain that. But let's just say man and woman, just to be easier for me to just get my point across. You know, the men are definitely in their masculine, but they don't have enough of the feminine in them. So, you know, that's creating a distorted masculine where he's controlling, there's narcissism or there's manipulation, there's wounds that are not being healed. That could be from his mother, that could be from the maternal line in his family, where he's come from very patriarchal experiences where the feminine hasn't been risen up and it's been oppressed. So he's taken on behavioral patterns, ways of thinking, whether it's in his, you know, his core brain from the life he's in now, but even in the subconscious and in the ancestral part of his DNA, you know, that it's been brought forward. So that's something for him to clear. Now, bringing in that feminine energy will allow him to you know, himself to receive, to go inward, to do the healing work, and to look into his shadow. The feminine, well, I truly believe that the feminine is also very much in a masculine, but it's come about because, you know, the feminines were oppressed. You know, the females were definitely connected to the moon, and that's the feminine energy, the moon. I said the masculine is the sun, and the moon is very much about what's hidden, what's inside. It's not out there, it's internal. And there's a real powerful connection with the feminines and the moon. And, you know, several hundred years ago, they started, you know, deeming women that were connecting with the moon as witches, and, you know, made them look like they were wrong. So things have shifted, but it's coming back around again for this balance to come through. The feminines, however, though, have been way too much in their masculine. Why? Because, you know, because of the oppression and everything that's happened, a lot of feminines are having to, you know, make more of a stand, like, hey, you know, I deserve some respect. I need to be able to be at the seat of that boardroom table, or, you know, we need to get more of a say in the world. And so you've seen all these feminist movements, but if we keep going in that direction and it's just feminism, then that starts to go out of balance. So by doing that, it's great to bring awareness, but it's still quite masculine in its action. We still need to allow for this, like, the flow of the two energies to come together. So let's talk about the representation of the masculine and feminine in our body. Left brain, if you've ever sort of associated yourself to be a left brainer, it's very analytical and logical. I definitely am that person. I love numbers. I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to it. And then the right brain is the feminine. It's artistic, it's spiritual. So, you know, you can see that in the brain meridians, but also in our body. Our left side is our female side, the receiving side, and our right hand side is our masculine side. I in recent years started to experience pain in my right hand side of my body, and I didn't understand. And it was definitely when I was starting to kind of awaken to things, and I went on an awakening that was triggered by a twin flame experience. And with that, you know, I didn't realize that it was definitely, you know, connected to, I was getting so triggered with my dynamic and with the whole situation that I didn't realize it was connected to the wounds of my paternal line, my father, and whatever was carrying through in the generations. That I really needed to heal. And I've done the work, but I'm still doing the work. So you may feel like sometimes, you know, your left hand side, and I noticed that my left hand side of my body was quite stiff. So when I go for massages, they're like, oh, this is really stiff. But the right hand side, now I am right handed, so it will tend to be like that, but it's also a representation of, I need to loosen up the left hand side and allow myself to receive. You know, I was such a giver. But the feminine energy is loving, it's nurturing, it's caring, it's just very just maternal in a sense. But we can both feel that, both men and women, within ourselves. It's working through the heart space, right? It's trusting the heart, it's having an open heart, you know. And when we can get that balance of open heart. So how do we heal our feminine and our masculine? Well, let's talk about the wounds that can occur, and also the distorted feminine and the distorted masculine. The distorted masculine is someone that it's the energy of controlling, it's the energy of manipulation, it's the energy of really being in the ego, it's fear, it's not allowing the heart space to speak to him. He's not allowing the divine feminine energy to allow him to use his intuition, take, inspired inspiration and guidance from his higher self, from his own intuition. So he acts in fear, he works off his own ego and doesn't realize that actually he's not healing his wounds, and it is almost amplifying. So he'll end up in dynamics or situations, whether it's romantic or with family, where it's being controlled, there's drama, there is this imbalance, there's distortion, there's friction, and it doesn't feel good. Things won't really go well, because eventually things start to kind of fall away, or lessons or karma starts to come, and those karmic cycles will keep playing out until he learns his lessons. So I definitely feel like he or she, so if you've got distorted masculine energy, whether you're a woman or a man, within you, you'll have karmic cycles that will come through, that will have to challenge you to make you learn. So the wounded feminine, or the distorted feminine energy that could exist within you, that's where she's needy, she's desperate, she's not trusting her feminine energy as well. She's, trying to cling, she's just attaching, she's not stepping back and allowing space. She's not allowing the flow to happen. So she's not feeling protected by her masculine energy within her, or by a masculine. So in dynamics of friendship, family, romance, she'll be attracting situations where drama is being created, and there's neediness, there's attachment, clinginess. It's intense, it's quite codependent, and both wounds will create codependency and quite unhealthy relationship patterns, whether it's with friends, family, and you'll see that play out, because it'll be drama, problems, and again, it's karma coming through to come clear that. So you may meet someone that helps you to clear that, to shine a light, to say, actually, this dynamic is not very healthy, you need to go and heal whatever's within. Now, when the two are in balance, and when you start to do that work, so I always say, like, how do you do the work? Well, I think, using the lunar cycles of the full moon to release, to understand what it is that's holding you back in your fears and in your ego, from maybe your divine masculine side, but also your fears and ego in your feminine side. Like, what is it that's holding you back? What is it that you need to release? But how do you release it and then say, I'm going to do the work to create that awareness within myself and to bring myself into balance? And you might want to work with a coach, a therapist, a healer to help you do that. It is very good to have that assistance, because it's hard to just do everything on your own, especially when you're clearing out karma. Now, remember this: as you heal your feminine and your masculine, and you're bringing it into balance, you're bringing balance to your ancestral line, you're bringing in balance to your lineage. And this is powerful, because this is setting the new paradigm for the new earth, and it's allowing you to be the embodiment of what a real divine masculine feminine imbalance will look like and be, and attract like-minded, soul, to be in maybe a romantic relationship, which then shows the world, the universe, this new blueprint for an example, and a more healthier way of being in a relationship, in a dynamic, even with family. So even as I healed my masculine wounds, paternal wounds and things like that, my relationship with my father just changed. I mean, I was doing the internal work, but I noticed that slowly but surely things started to change between us, and I got this respect from him. And as I was healing myself on my masculine wounds, I was healing him, because I had started to identify his fears of abandonment, his fears, that where he was controlling things, where he felt people were going to leave him, or how he felt as a child, and some of that was embodied in me. So I was releasing for the both of us. Likewise with my mum's energy, I was helping to heal things that she had experienced, not just things that I had experienced from my childhood. So it is very deep work, but when we do this, we can show up in our true authenticity. We're allowing ourselves to come into balance, and then it allows us to really attract like-minded souls, like souls, and a lovely romantic partner, if we want to settle down with someone that is in a much more healthier dynamic. You know, you wonder why a lot of divorces happen and why a lot of breakups happen, and a lot of maybe couples are in these relationships and they're truly like unhappy because there's no balance, and it starts from the balance within. So if you don't have the balance from within, then your external reality will not have balance, and so whatever you attract will be unbalanced, whether it's at work, whether it's in the relationship, whether it's at home with the family. So I hope that makes sense. Now, this is where we're at in this world. We need more of that feminine energy, and this is why I've created this channel. The Divine Feminines is about bringing through that divine feminine energy within the masculine and within the feminine. We have many masculines that have been operating in their ego, in fear. They're stuck in their wounds and they don't heal because they're not receiving their feminine energy. Now, their heart is closed and they may have had mother issues or challenges, whatever it is from the paternal energy that needs to be unleashed, and have this trust and this understanding for that feminine energy. And masculines are starting to do the work. So if you resonate with this and you're a man, and you see that your your feminine energy is needs to come out, it wants to come out literally, with this beautiful beautiful light, right? It wants to come out, it wants to show itself. And feminines, females that may feel like, actually I've been so much in my masculine and I'm in these relationships and the same stuff keeps playing out, or I'm in these dynamics with family and I'm trying to control stuff, I'm trying to do stuff, I'm in my ego and I'm not allowing myself to step back and receive, and to, because I'm trying to control. So what is it? Where's my fears? What happened to me as a child? What is it that's in my lineage that's stopping me from being in my feminine? So this whole shift that we're going into is bringing in more of this feminine, divine feminine energy. And when this comes through and the divine masculine starts to heal his feminine energy, he then can embody the divine masculine in such a way that he can protect. He's the warrior, he can protect the feminine. Not in a fairy tale protect, because those fairy tales is distorted, right? Cinderella and all of these, that's what we grew up with and that's what we were told, and it is totally the wrong blueprint. And that's why we have all of these marriages failing, or people thinking that they need to do things a certain way, and women are walking sex objects and men are supposed to be like and they can do whatever they want but women can't, and all of that. It's all spun off all of this distortion and imbalance. Now, when he's in balance, he can trust his feminine energy within him and use his masculine energy at the right times and make the feminine feel protected, make her feel secure, but not in a way that overpowers her or shadows her or controls her. She's free. She's free to rise up and be the light that she is. So when we've done the work and we continue to commit to doing the work to bring our feminine and masculine in balance, life becomes so much more easier. We know when to take action and we know when to step back, listen to our intuition and allow things to flow, because our life is not meant to be go, go, go. There is moments that we need to take a step back. There's moments where we just need to go within. We need to figure things out, and we can remove ourselves from the external reality for a moment to just do that. It's acceptable. We need to stop getting so caught up on what people expect, and what people tend to expect is the old paradigm, is the distortion. Couples are meant to be like this. Families or people are meant to interact this way. Women are only there for sex, or that's their kind of purpose, or they're just mothers and they're just sex objects. Actually, the intuitive feminine energy is so much more powerful. It can manifest, it can create, it can heal. It creates not just human beings, but newness, cycles, abundance. It creates, and it allows us to heal, to nurture, to really connect with nature and all that is. And the masculine energy, when it is healed and it's in its true divine masculine, he's a warrior. He's there in his true authenticity. He is not afraid to shine his light. He speaks his truth. He lives his truth, and he protects his feminine. So if our divine masculine within us can do that and our feminine can do that, we just know when to interchange the two. And in some days you may be more in your masculine than your feminine, but generally speaking, you have a balance between the two. I'm urging many that feel like they don't have much connection to their feminine, to use the moon, because the moon is such a beautiful, powerful, intuitive connection for us. So if we work with the moon, and also like elements like water, we can really connect into those energies within us. Listen, try to hear what's being said. Just cancel the noise out and just receive whatever is coming to you. The more and more you do that, the more you start to realize what it is that you need to heal, or what it is that is meant to be the next step that you take when you go into your masculine energy. So that could be a really cool way. And I do videos on the moon for the new moon cycle, and how you set yourselves up for the new cycle, the new month ahead, where you can set your intentions and manifest. And in order to manifest, you need to release wounds. You need to, and those are also blocks, because where you have wounds and you have lack mentality, and you think in a distorted way or behave in a distorted way, you're holding yourself back from receiving and to pull in those blessings. So I work through those energies, and I work through the different moon cycles to help us see what we need to kind of think about when we're creating, but with the full moon, what we need to release with that full moon, and how we can use the energy of that full moon to really release and create space. And it's in the creating space that we can start to allow both feminine and masculine energies to really dance with each other. And when we have that within ourselves, and the two are working together like synonymously, just a beautiful dance between these energies, we go out into the world. We go out into the world and we really embody this, and it's a beautiful dance that then dances with us through circumstances, situations, and other souls. For the feminines out here that are like, I'm not meeting the guy I want to, or I've gone on all these dates and I'm, maybe you're just doing too much. Like, what about stepping back, working on yourself, healing the wounds so that you can show up into a relationship, more self-aware and more balanced, because then you'll attract a soul mate, a partner, or individuals that will reflect the healed version of you. And likewise for the masculine, I will talk about this in a separate episode, but our energy is so sacred, and the sexual exchange itself is so sacred. When we give ourselves intimately, that divine energy that is activated from our kundalini through our chakras is a connection to the divine. It's the connection through our own divine and to universe. And so when we spread ourselves thinly and we're giving our energy to multiple people, whether that is physically or it's just in exchange, because you don't birds are like keep going stuff, because you're onto one. So that's going to be another episode. But it doesn't have to be physical. It could be, intimacy can be on so many different levels, where you're sharing your energy and you're exchanging with another. But when we do that with multiple people, so, I personally don't really like the idea of going on loads and loads of dates and things like that. That's not something I would do. And I know a lot of women are doing that because they're trying to find the right man. But what about forgetting about trying to find the right person? What about just really trying to find your truth? And in finding your truth, the right person will find you. And it's likewise for the men that are like, I had a big breakup, whatever. Go and work on yourself, go and heal. I'm not saying to stay single until you've done enough healing, because I truly believe that the universe sends us soulmates and individuals to help accelerate our growth. So as you're doing the healing work, you might see someone come your way, and it naturally happens, but allow it to naturally happen. I'm not saying to just sit there and go, hey, I want to meet a divine counterpart and I'm just going to chill out here and not do nothing. Obviously, allow yourself to socialize and to meet people, but if you do too much of this dating apps and loads of dates, like, honestly, it's desperation. I'm sorry, I'm going to say that. It's desperation. What part of it is trusting that you will receive, you will attract, because you're a true goddess? And both the male and the females out here have that goddess energy within us that we can attract. I'm talking to the men and women that are listening right now. I'm not talking to just women. I'm saying that we can attract. So have that trust. Yes, put yourself out there to some extent, but know when to just let it flow. So with that being said, I really hope that this episode gave you some inspiration, enlightened you, and helped you on your journey. I'm too still on this journey, because the journey never ends. I'm not going to a certain destination, because the destination is the journey. And what we choose to carry in our backpack is what really allows us to flow as much as we want. Like, do you want your backpack to be heavy and life to be heavy, carrying those wounds and traumas? Or do you want to travel light, with a light backpack, clearing your karma, wounds healed? You're just a free spirit to really expand and really flow with the sequence and rhythm of the universe as it comes, and its ebb and flow in that beautiful divine dance of your masculine and feminine energy. So it's getting to nighttime here. Lots of love from Costa Rica, and I will see you soon.